All right, perfect.
Wendy, you
I did
got
some
something to say?
AJ and AU today, but I wasn't home all day, so I wasn't in the chart.
What did you
Look for
do with
stuff.
AJ?
Actually, still in a buy right now, just a scalp buy.
Is this the same strategy, different strategy?
No, it's literally just glance at the candles, do some scalping because I wasn't home, so I wasn't able to have my whenever I do the strategy, I like to be on my computer so I can actually see. Trying to do it on trading view on my phone, my screen is small to really be able to tell what I'm looking at. So since I wasn't home all day today, I didn't get to look for setups properly.
I got you.
Almost looks a little head and shoulder-ish.
Yeah, that looks a little too simple. So I would expect it to be ran out. Yeah. Seeing this divergence in the hourly. You have hourly breaker structure right there, clearing out that previous lower high. So we can get something like this. I would look to go long on AUD JPY.
Yeah, what's that fib? Would that be at the 618? That'd be a nice setup for a buy, actually.
Yeah, if it comes down to the 618 right here. Hold on. Get your phone
cool.
call. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I just had a call coming for work.
Yeah, bro.
Cool.
Quick question. So did that play already happen? Is that what you're looking at?
What were we looking? We were looking at AUD JPY, right? Yeah, no, it didn't already happen. We're looking for this to happen.
Okay.
We're looking for something like this to happen. Price to pull back into this again. This will be a reversal trade setup. So take it at lower risk, but you have like the criteria of the 1 hour for this to do something. You know, we definitely broke that low. Yep, definitely broke that low. And then price had a significant reaction away from it, taking out the significant lower high, which is your structure. And if we can get a pullback down into here, oh, hold on. Yeah, might not happen because we just barely missed that 618. So it might not happen. But if it does give you that pullback, I would still consider this a valid trade setup. and you might like it might set up like with another divergence like this, and then give you another breakout, and then the pullback in New York. So those are like the possible scenarios I would be looking at AU DJPY. And then you said you
Can we
traded
take-
AU on the scalps too, right?
Yeah.
And you said you're long AU.
I grabbed 3 scalps for about 10 pips a piece, all buys.
Nice.
I'm gonna overlap 2 of them, so
Mhm.
trying to build this baby account back up while I'm waiting on having capital. Working with what I got for now.
Mhm. Okay, so this was another reversal play that happened today on AU. Had the divergence, price broke out. Gave you 61.8 rejection in London, and then
Dude, these
rallied
plays
all
look
the way to the
perfect.
1618. Beautiful trade. Beautiful.
That was like a perfect setup right
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 6R off of that one. Great trade. Great trade. Okay. Cool.
I might start
Yeah,
trading
so
AU. I find that
Huh?
moves a lot.
what?
So I might start trading AU over like EU.
It really depends how things
Every
are
time I look
going.
at it, I feel like it's moving.
Yeah. Recently it does look like it's been moving, but it's also like dollar influenced. AU is actually going to be moving right now in about 5 minutes because they have a red folder coming in. Forex Factory, yeah. In like 5 minutes, they have their unemployment rate coming out. So this is just gonna pop right now.
You want to do the risk to reward tool just to have it ready? Or
Yeah,
this
but I
trade
wouldn't
setup?
trade. I wouldn't trade it. There's no setup here. The setup that we have is on AUDJPY.
Yeah, but that might come in. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So what is the
Yeah, I would prefer it to happen
82.3?
in London, but if it does, I would take it at like a 0.25% risk.
Is that AJ and that's 82.397. 0.397. Yeah, I'll just put it up on my chart.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
cool.
personally not gonna take this trade, but
Oh, it's all
I
good.
don't want to trade Asian today.
I made that
Can we
mistake
take a look at
yesterday.
can we take a look at GCAT for the short?
GBP CAD for the short. Okay. So I'm not short bias on this right now because we have a significant break of structure. So this is what me and Brian were looking at before. This is another multi-day setup. It just I want this to hit in here to go long
It's gonna come right
because we
there.
have multi-day divergence, break of market structure, price pulled back to 618, and now we're on the 3rd day. And I'll explain that because that's really going to be today's spiel, and show you guys how you can catch some major moves that way.
But Rob, where do you see the short, bro? Go ahead and tell us what you see so that we can see what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Just-
So basically, I just seen the divergence from yesterday, the 18th. So there was a little bit of divergence kind of beginning of the day. Or no, that's actually 9:30 at night. Okay, so my time zones are off. I'm still trying to get my chart set up correctly now. I'm seeing divergence, but then I'm realizing that the times don't really add up, and I think my
Are
sessions
you
are off now.
UTC -5 on the bottom?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at the 15-minute right now.
Okay. On
There
GBP
was
CAD.
there was definitely some bearish divergence. It looks like at 8:30 this morning on that long candle. So on that long candle up until kind of where you have your arrow point down, the next arrow.
Here?
Yeah, from the bottoms. Yeah, back down to that long candle.
Like here?
Do you know how to annotate, Rob?
Are you on your phone?
I'm on the call on my phone, but I'm looking at my chart on the computer.
Okay, so on your phone,
Oh,
there's like
gotcha.
a little drawing thing. Just draw what you're talking about. Because I don't see what you're
Okay, got
seeing.
you.
Just adjust your chart a little bit, Arjun.
So, oh shit, where'd it go? There we go. So kind of from here to here, and then on the that line's kind of off because I'm using my finger,
No, I got what you're saying. So from
and
here
then
to
from
here,
here to
you're
here.
saying?
Yeah, from there to there, and then from like here to here.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bearish divergence, that's bullish divergence.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be for longs. So if we went from here, like you would connect it from the low of that candle right there to that low point. And actually, if you like draw vertical lines on both of those candles, you'll see that that's not divergence at all.
Okay, got you.
All right. And that's on, you were looking at it on the 15, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's not bearish divergence. Bearish divergence would be more. I'll show you a good example so that way you have a better idea.
However, go to the right again though. What's that? Is this divergent right here? I was just looking at it. Hold up 1 second. I couldn't really see, but is this divergent right there? That right? This right there. And then this, is that divergent by any chance?
Yeah, that's a slight divergence.
And that's bullish divergence.
That is bullish divergence, yes.
Nice. All right, cool.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider this like a break of structure just because this whole time frame is like useless to me for the most
You're in
part.
the middle.
Okay. Let me show you a good bearish one. Yeah, so you see how we had this high point and that high point, Rob?
Right.
And then pretty much for the same points. Oh, did that break? Oh yeah, that one's not a good example.
It's like the previous high of that.
Yeah. I want to show him something clean. Like this is clean. That's clean divergence. Cannot be argued whatsoever. You see that?
And that's bearish. Okay, I
That's
got you.
bearish divergence. Like the high, if price makes a higher high, right? Price is making a higher high, kind of making like your first two legs of the M, right? And then on the indicator, you're looking for the opposite, a lower high.
Lower high.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
The indicator says to you that even though it's a higher high, that leg is weak. Comes
Yeah.
on the indicator.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So, today's lesson is multi-day divergence to catch bigger moves, bigger than what we're used to. Trades that will take 2 or 3 days to set up, but once they set up, the same day between the same day and the next day, this should give you 50 to 150 pips. That's kind of like the range that they'll go for. So I was marking something up before we got on this. So here is one opportunity like that. So the first step of a multi-day setup is you need multi-day divergence.
Arjun, are you using any higher time frame confluences to kind of like tell you where you're at, like a high or low for this, or are you strictly just using this off of a 15-minute?
No, I mean, I'll look at the daily chart too to see like how, like where, like are we breaking anything um honestly, I'm more of like an intra-week trader, but yes, like I'll have some higher time frame levels marked up. So
Okay.
like I'll have like, if there's like, so we popped up to the daily on your JPY in this example that I'm going to show you. All right. And this is like the high we're looking at. Like we haven't been this high since November of 2021. So that's like, it's like a 60-day high, 60-day type high. Like it's probably like the high of last quarter, like somewhere in there,
It's almost like a daily fib.
Yeah, exactly. So you have your breaker structure on the daily, and we're right in that pocket. So, this trade technically, could go pretty far. Like from, if we were like shorting up in here, we know that price, may want to come back to this EMA or, somewhere in here, like you have like these key levels in here. Like that zone right there. It's like a pretty solid zone, it could turn into a pretty decent trade. Like this was like 200 pips, but we're looking to capture quick moves. So we don't have to hold trades over the weekend or anything like that. And maybe take them multiple times to capitalize on that move. But I have an idea of stuff. Yeah. Like I'll look at the daily before I start at anything else. I'll look at the daily and kind of understand where we are in the bigger picture, and then drop down to the 15 and do my, what's today's bias and all that. But yeah, so multi-day divergence. Step 1. And then BMS. Retracement on the 3rd day. Retracement on the 3rd day. Targeting 50 to 150 pips. And the whole point of this is to try and capture like the lion's portion of a weekly range with this. So in this example, call you later. Okay. So what we're looking at right here. So this is something more that you would probably like, you're going to see these more on the hourly chart, like the divergences, because you're looking at something that's going to trend for a while when it goes. And the EMAs almost become irrelevant with this, just because you're most of the time, these are going to be reversal setups. Like they're catching the highs, like Andrew likes to catch. We just wait for a break of market structure to get a good portion, like to confirm and then get a good portion of the trade. So this was the first step, right? Is multi-day divergence, right? From yesterday to today, right? That's 2 days of divergence from day one, day 2, right? And then you're waiting for the break of market structure. So the following day, from one day going into the next day, we had the break of market structure. So this is day 1, this is day 2, and this is what I mean by entry on the 3rd day, like retracement on the 3rd day. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So this is your entry on the 3rd day. So after it broke market structure, we pulled right back to the 61. Stop loss like this, 30 pips, shooting for 50 or more. right to that low where we got 56. So this wasn't a huge trade because this swiped back and then like pulled down again. And it just rejected the zero. And never really made a new lower low. So sometimes when this happens, especially in a multi-day setup, if we're not getting at least to the -27, I would just move my fib down in this scenario like that and wait for it to come back. So when it came back again at the 61, I would have hit this again. I would have went short here again, because you're gonna get a significant move that at least breaks with a body the zero. So there was no body breaking the zero here. So I would have personally taken that trade again. But you guys can, test it out for yourselves, see what you like with it, see what you don't like with it. The whole point of me teaching you all these different ways to approach the market, so now we have three entry techniques. We have our trending setup, we have our normal reversal setup, and then we have our major reversal setup. It's just so you guys have all these as tools in your toolbox to approach trading how you like to approach trading. So I do like a combination of a lot of this stuff. Sometimes when I see more of a bigger move, I'll try to capture a bigger move. If there's, smaller moves, I try to capture the smaller moves. I kind of adapt to the market, if that makes sense. So once that's set up, obviously, once this dropped to like the -27, that's a pretty solid trade. And, you'd want to take a lot of it off there. And then it just we get our 100, and then it the 618 would have been like 111. So probably would have been like 100% out by the time we got about 100 pips, because that's almost 3R on that trade. And then sometimes you're going to get trade setups that are going to give you better risk to reward than that. It just depends scenario to scenario. Does that kind of make sense? I know a lot, it's pretty much a lot of the same stuff. We're just not using the daily bias in that given moment, because we understand it's a counter trend trade. But when you have a multi-day divergence and a strong hourly breaker structure, you understand that price is more than likely going to go in your favor. But because it's still a reversal trial, because it's still a reversal style trade setup, you might only want to risk 0.5% until you get comfortable with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do you weed out scenarios if you roll back to the left, where you have the divergence on the 2 days prior? Even back, you see how you have from that high to the previous days,
like this,
or is that no back and then that to the other high,
Can you
to
just
the
circle
left?
it? You know how to annotate on Zoom?
I don't know if I do.
If
Maybe
you're
it's
on your
because it's a
computer, it's
third,
that big
let me see.
thing on the top, and then there'll be a pen. If you see a little pen symbol.
It's up top, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, annotate.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you want me to grab just
and
a
then
draw?
just grab the pen tool and circle what you're talking about.
Okay, give me 1 second. Guess this will work. That. Oops. Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, so how do you weed out scenarios like this? Okay.
It's a little close. Maybe it's actually probably not divergent as I look at it now.
Yeah,
it's close. Here. Yeah.
So that's the high. Yeah, it snaps above.
It
just goes above.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
how you weed it out.
That. Yeah.
Well, I have, sometimes you do see situations like that.
Yeah, and
but
maybe we lose the trade
doesn't
that
work
day.
all the time. Yeah. That's
Maybe we
fair.
lose the trade that day. It's really, scenario to scenario, something like that. But most of the time you're gonna see this at like, we haven't been at these highs forever, and starting to form this, and we're breaking the structure and then pulling back, and then you get a nice move down.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. And then when it broke again, it didn't come underneath here. I wish this, this would have swung underneath here when it did this. So then we could, see it as a clean. I mean, technically it broke that low, but that's just getting all technical. Like if, a clean break underneath this low with this swing would have been perfect, because then you would have just understood that from a market structure perspective and then just fibbed it up again. And then when it popped back up in here, get ready to short it again type thing. So that would have been really cool if that happened in that scenario. But either way, I'm not complaining if you get 100 pips out of a trade, and really just hold it for like a day, from one New York session to another. So like 24 hours, you're in that trade and it gives you 100 pips. I'm cool with that.
Would you be looking for anything on when you see that on the hour? Would you be going to like a 15-minute to try and find anything to like add in a
Yeah, like
position
so like in this, yeah,
for a
so
better R to R as well?
yeah, absolutely. So like on the 15, that can happen. So like so let's say we were over here, and see if we can find, yeah, I mean there is divergence, obviously.
I guess a lot
Prices,
of times on those moves, you don't always get the pullback because they kind of
yes,
just run.
yeah, sometimes you just get a run, like in a scenario like this, because it was just consolidating, this was, it just consolidated instead of like trending down. But when it broke out of this consolidation, and then you had this pullback in here, if you understand market structure, right, after you had this impulse, you could fib it like that, and you understand where the market is going. I'll see if I can, I haven't really messed around with this strategy giving us like solid solid more trades on like a 5-minute or something like that, to give you, and what I mean by that is like just like it understanding the trend and everything, but it's hard anyways because indicators don't understand consolidation. When you have consolidation with a lot of indicators, they're just, that's when everything just gets super wonky. So
Yeah, like
that's,
you said, that's just understanding structure. That's break and retest.
yeah, exactly. Like you have that solid break, like you have the break and retest here, but then when you have that impulse and price pull down, like that's just a simple structure wise entry, and your indicators gave you your indicators, and this whole previous framework gave you the understanding and a better bias for that day for it to short off. So that's how you could get a, obviously a much better risk to reward out of this. You're talking about that trade right there. They gave you an 8 pip stop loss, and then pretty much you'll probably get like 90 out of this. Yeah, like 90, 92. But let's say you just took it down to this negative 27, it's still a solid 72 pips and almost 9R. So if you understand how the market's like an accordion, right? The more you open it up, you can, see the move, and then you shrink it down, you can get like the bigger perspective, and then you open it up to get your surgical entry. For those of you that have the time to get in there and get surgical with it, but this is something for people that, especially for people that, like Wendy's, like a mom, she got shit going on, you wait 3 days to trade, but when it lines up, you're ready to go. You already have a limit set, once you have that break of market structure and the price is starting to hold, you can set sell limits at that 61.8, put your stop, set your stop loss, set your take profit at the 27, and that's going to bang. It's going to hit as many times as it does. Cool. Any other questions? I'll try to find
I
a buy
like that
scenario.
idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put in the
Get-
work and then reap the rewards while you're out doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's swing trading. That is swing trading. 50 to 150 pip trade setups. They're a nice place to be when they happen. It just takes longer. Some people don't have the patience to wait. And then obviously, once you understand the swing, and let's say you're still an intraday trader, but you take the swing perspective, and then you're getting these you're waiting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, like basically the whole week to get this set up. But that one trade, you're done for the month off of that one setup. So
Was that within the same week, that trade, or did that cross weeks?
good question.
AUD USD
4,
is about
5,
to break.
6, 7. It crossed. So this was Monday.
Yeah, AUD USD is because of the news is pushing structure up. So on the 15-minute, we're gonna break that structure. So we could get in on the pullback in London. If you see the divergence is where, hold on one second. Yep. Also right here. Hold on. It's from here to there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
If you see that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
Absolutely. If this
if we break that structure, then I guess we're not
yeah,
coming
I'll look
back.
for that
We'll,
that high to get ran,
and then we'll come back
price
and
to
then
pull back, and go long.
we'll take it long till right here. Go back to the
And-
4 hour. Okay, right there. Yeah, no, right there's fine. Then we'll
Okay.
And
take
I
it up
just
to there.
checked my MT4, and because of that news, it went ahead and finished up my scalp I had on AJ and closed it out in profit.
Nice.
Nice job. Good job. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
See, that's what I was saying, Andrew. Like the Head and Shoulders, that apparent on a lower time frame, they're running that shit like all the time.
That's dope.
All right. So that's that. Were we looking at EA at all? Was I looking at EA? I know this on my watch list.
Wow, dude. EJ, I know you said you didn't like it, but it's came into the 618 and into that little, and then now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
diving.
Was this a perfect 618? Ah, there you go.
Should've-
I just
damn
don't
it.
understand. Honestly, like personally, I don't have the data for Asian session like that because I don't trade Asian session as much. So, if any one of you just
don't
wants to
like it.
trade just Asian session or you trade it consistently, like, you can
Or
get,
or we can go in like a 0.5%, 1/4% to
yeah,
test
I'll
it.
probably do like 1/4%.
You know what I mean?
Or just
1/4%.
demo it for a while.
There you go.
You're about to say something, Andrew?
I hate Asia. I've never, ever had any success in Asia. I feel like you see it perfect and you like go with, the way it should be going. And as soon as you put your position in, it just goes away from you. Like I've never had any success in Asia. Never.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
And thank you, Rob, for spotting GCAD. I'm in it.
UBP CAD?
Yeah, because I gotta take this trade for Asian session. I'm not. You know what? If I take losses, I take losses. I don't care. If the setup's there, I'm gonna take it. And I've noticed these little Asian sessions, man, they give you a nice 1-to-1 almost all the time
Yeah.
on a very
Okay,
small
man.
time frame. But anyway,
Good for
just
you,
want to
dude.
say thank you, Robert. I'm gonna take that for a 1-to-1, and there you go.
I mean, it could run more. I mean, my whole thesis is this should
I'm
This
going
should-
break even once I'm 1-to-1. So
run like this, and then give some sort of pullback, and then run higher again. Because when you're getting this multi-day divergence, basically what you're doing is you're forming a swing low. In a long scenario, you're forming a swing low on the daily, and then breaking that structure and pulling back is giving the entry for that swing low. And then price should run for a while, like at least, 50 to 150 pips in the other direction. So, from here, say 100 pips is up here.
But we'll see. Like, I'm just gonna take this nice and slow.
We'll
We're gonna
see
go.
too. I mean, I'm not trading it. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
know that that's the possibility for it to come up to there. Negative 27 is also a great possibility.
I'll just go break even in about like 2 minutes, hopefully.
Yeah, 50
and then,
pips is back to the high, 75, and then 100.
yeah, this could be a potential 1 to 4 setup, but yeah.
Where did
anyway.
you put your stop loss on this trade?
At the 0, at the 1, I mean, at the 1,
Right here at
at the
146.
1.70142.
Okay, and your
Yeah.
entry was at 241.
My entry was a little over that, not too much over 1.70245.
245.
Yep, I'm just hitting 1R now. I'm gonna go ahead and put
Take a
myself at,
partial and move stop loss to break even,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then set your targets here, here, or here.
Yep, give me 1 second, but I gotta
You
concentrate
could
on
set
this.
alerts. You could set an alert here and set your actual target like up here.
Mhm.
You should be great, man. Did you take it 1%?
Like 0.5%.
Okay, I was about to say, you have the potential to pass your challenge off this one trade right now.
Yeah, I just took.
I
I
would be
just.
sick. I would be sick if you passed the challenge. I'd be so happy for you, but I'd be sick that I didn't take the trade.
It's so funny, dude.
How are you
That's
doing
what I
on
was
your
thinking.
challenge?
That's what I was thinking too. When you were talking about waiting the days for the setup and then having that big, large setup. Like, you could literally do that for each week of the challenge. And then on those days that you had to just make a trade, just find a small one. And then you'd be passing the challenge in
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
no time.
One good one like that, like this EJ trade. One good one of these every week, you're solid. You're passing the challenge. Where's my phone? I'm down a little bit, Andrew. I think I'm down like 2 right now. 2% or 3%. I'm down like 3% right now. And I'm still in this GJ trade right now. It's taking a sweet time doing this thing. I don't know if it's gonna completely pan out the way I wanted it to, because it was a reversal setup. We had the multi-day, so this is like kind of one of those scenarios. I just jumped the gun by getting in here. Technically, I should have waited for Asian session today, and now as soon as Asian session opened, which was right around the 786, this is where my trade should have been. That's where my stop loss should have been, and I should be in this trade for up to like here. Like that's kind of what my trade should look like. Kind of jumped the gun getting in right here though. So that's that.
You still like your bias on it though?
Yeah, I still like my bias on it, unless it stops me out, then it's it sucks. It sucks, but that means I was wrong. But I like it, dude. Like we're
I like this
technically-
setup for a couple of days for a big long. I think that would be a good idea to use on a prop account after it's funded, so that you're always going with the parameters that they set.
yeah.
And then if I needed my scalp fix, I could just use a little personal account.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what would be the better bet for utilizing the prop money the best way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely definitely gives
I
you
didn't.
options.
I didn't close my trade out in time. Like, well, I closed it when I said I was, but that's when it was pumping, and then when it stopped pumping, I lost like $70 in profit. I'm pissed. I only took $34 out of that trade.
Did you close the whole? Did you close the whole
No,
trade? No.
no,
Okay.
no, no. I'm at like break even. So
Okay.
damn, dude, I hate when that happens. The market was raging and then it dropped and took away some of my profit.
All right. Let's look for a long now on NU. 'Cause I think what's been trending up, actually, this is the best way to do it.
Yo, but remember my trade from yesterday? This is why I don't mind taking this trade today. ECAD. ECAD was my trade from yesterday. It was perfect. But it is what it is.
Damn, look
Oh,
at that rejection though.
oh wait, is that your GJ?
That's GJ. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm about to get in.
Yeah, you guys could still get into this if you want.
What it-
Because
oh,
it's
that's-
setting up today. So like today's the
that's
setup. You know, you're getting a better entry around the 786. You know, your stop loss is only like 16 pips. I understand
got-
it's Asia, but it's also GBP JPY. So you have that JPY influence, but you
I
know,
just got in. If I lose it, I lose it. What's the stop loss?
I put it at 470, 155, 470.
155. I went in 0.5%.
Mhm.
150.
My
150.
personal target on this trade is I anticipate it coming 157.7, I believe, like back up to last week's high. That may take a little while, so I will take partials along the way, obviously, and I'll close before the weekend if I don't get like a miraculous jump between today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you know, the other significant point would be this high right here, so right around 157, and then yesterday's high at 156.230. Yeah, so these are like the three take profit levels that are like the major levels.
155. Wait, what is that? 156.
156.2, just round it to the nearest 100. 156.2, 156.9.
Stop loss. My stop loss would be 20 pips for GJ.
And 157.7.
GJ.
I was playing around with that lot calculator
Mhm.
from one of my textbooks, and I noticed that as I changed the amount of stop loss that I would allow,
Mhm.
it's the lot size. So I thought that was kind of cool that it, and I know the whole purpose for it is to see what the
To do
drawdown
that,
would be if you
yeah.
want to go. Yeah. But it didn't really click in my head that that's what the purpose of it was until I saw it and I was just plugging in the numbers.
I got you.
That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Sometimes it takes a minute, you know, and plus you have a million things going on every day, I bet. So
Yeah, my 14-year-old plays sports, so we got done with football and now he's playing baseball. So we have baseball practice. I pick up the little ones, then I have to pick up the bigger one, the oldest. Then I have to take the second one to practice because it's not at the school, and then come back home, feed the little ones their snack, and then go back and get the 14-year-old, then come back and cook dinner,
good
then
God.
homework and all that stuff. So
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
it's really busy during the afternoon every single day.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I like the advice I've been getting. Don't have kids and don't get married.
No way. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I mean, it's just a season, and it's fun. And then you get to go to the games and watch everything that they've worked hard for come to fruition. It's really nice.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I enjoyed playing sports, but my parents never came to any of my games or anything, so didn't have to deal with all that.
Oh no, I didn't miss a single one of his games. He just played football it was his second season this past fall. I was at every game, and I will always be all the out of town games and everything. Some of them were 2 hours away, but I mean, he's playing football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna risk him getting hurt and me not being there.
Yeah, that's
Plus,
true.
it's just fun to watch, and it means a lot. And just from you saying that, it means a lot to the child that you take that time out and set aside whatever else is going on and be there, just to watch them. Yeah. And now my 9-year-old wants to play soccer in the spring, so I'm like, oh, there's going to be a point where I'll have to choose baseball or soccer because there's going to end up a game at the same time.
Soccer has more opportunities
Soccer's
worldwide.
a fall sport.
Well, in here for rec center for the little kids, they do it in the springtime.
Understood.
But we'll work it out.
Soccer is a great sport. I think soccer and baseball is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's
Get
Spanish.
more opportunities in that than foosball.
He's
Bobby
Spanish.
Boucher,
He's
foosball is the
Spanish.
devil.
I just watched The Water Boy the other day. I tried to get him to watch it with me, and he was like, no.
Bobby
It's a
Boucher.
great movie. I love that movie.
All right, so keep sorry
Wow,
about
this
that.
is not a divergence.
Are you looking for other plays to show us more of like the 3-day setup?
Yeah. There's not a lot of clean. Oh, I'm looking at UJ. No wonder. No wonder.
The pair
So
that
like
you
EU and GU will probably be like the best pairs for this shit.
Now, is this something that you find more when you have like a higher time frame range, or is
When
it's
you
something that
take out like a significant, like when you're at near key levels,
I have a
near key
setup for you.
levels or
I have
new
a setup for you.
highs or new lows, they're
Arjun,
gonna it's gonna
Go
form.
to GJ. Go to GJ and go to January 4th and January 5th. GJ. That's
That's
a
probably gonna be
reversal
the
play.
same. Yeah, that's probably the same setup that was on EJ.
There you go.
But yeah, that's
But you
another
could
thing
use
you
it.
guys can do. Like sometimes when it's like how it wasn't as clean on EJ, like it hit the 61 and then came back. Like, if you look at something that's closer, like GJ is very similar to EJ. There you go. They gave you that same setup. So 1, 2, this is the third day. We just didn't get the entry until the fourth day here. And then, traded up further for a little while. But that's okay. Like your stop loss is all the way up there. So stop loss is also going to be bigger because it's GJ. But, if you wait for that short-term break of structure and try to get in as well, that will make things easier for you. But this is like the framework. You have a 50 pip stop loss in this scenario to get about 100 pips. Yeah, because the low is right there. And right around 100 pips. Pretty decent trade. It took 2 days to play out, but you could have taken this one on the first day, have it set, and then the following day when you got the lower time frame confirmation via break of structure and the divergence. Where is it? Do we have it? Suck if we didn't. I don't think it's there. That kind of blows.
All right, so GJ, the last hope for
Let me see the
GJ
5 minute.
is the consolidation.
It just wasn't there. Really couldn't do nothing. I don't know. Yeah, see, this is where like when you're digging, it's just too much. That's when I hate digging for the divergence. I love when it's super apparent, but it's right here on the 5. You have price. The price created this higher high with the wick, and then price created a lower high on the divergence. I mean on the TDI. Price slapped down, and then gave you about a 786 retracement. And then if you just understand the structure, you understand we had consolidation, breakout, pullback for the retest. All that's there. All that normal stuff is there. You get like a 10 pip stop loss on this. And the same thing, you're running for about 100 pips. One and done. Challenge complete. So it's worth it when you find them. It takes a little while. They're not going to happen as often, these setups. It's not like they're going to happen every week. On every single pair. It's something that occurs a little less often, but when it does happen, it's a great experience. I believe probably on Euro USD and GBP USD that it could happen every week. Because I feel like on EU and GU, they set up in a way their weekly, like their whole weekly plays are just better. And then obviously you have the trend trades to play with. Like each time, like we're hitting these, like we're hitting the EMA and bouncing off of here, or getting close. Like those are all most likely going to be, the previous slam was a divergence and price broke, pulled back. So like this whole time when GU was trending up, you're definitely getting like plays in there, getting plays right here, for when we're trending. And then when we're close to ending the trend, you have that solid trade to look forward to as well. So let's see if we can find one here. No. What about here? Okay, so we have multi-day divergence. Just no break of structure. So the break of structure I would have considered. Yeah, we do have this. Yeah, was that before or after? Was it after? So no, that's not break of structure. Oh, but you have it right there. Gotta look too close. I don't like that. This I consider this break of structure above that high. So that didn't happen until this day right there. And then you would have waited for price to come back into the 61. Which happened right here. So like it's just understanding these structures and these lows. And when you get these multi-day divergences that, we might be shifting trend for a longer period of time. So you can catch a lot bigger moves. So this took how many days to set up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th day give you an entry. So it started setting up December 7th and didn't give you a trade until the following week on December 14th. But that trade, especially if you like waited for this 15-minute break of structure and then price pulled back, right around here would be your 618. Throw your stop underneath that low. You're getting a 10 pip stop, and we're shooting for 50 to 100. Gives you 75, 7.5 R in 2 days. But it took you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to get 7.5 R. But if you only take this one trade in 7 days and it gives you 7 R, that's almost as if you were trading those whole 7 days. Does that make sense? Takes time, and that's not for everybody because it's like a swing trading style, like I said. But I just want you guys to have the ability to see it, have the ability to look for it, and when it happens, to capitalize off of it. And that's if you can pull a swing trade like this off in the month of December, like right smack in the middle of the month of December, like that's valid. In a month like February, March, April, May, June, you're going to have those setups are going to be more apparent. They're going to happen more frequently, and they're going to hit for more than 50 to 75. They're going to get closer to that 100, 150, 200, maybe 250, depending on what pair you're trading. But 50 to 150 is like what you should be aiming for when you get a setup like this. So, any other questions before we start wrapping this up, basically?
No, I think this is good. Very good.
Well, that's good, and it also helped review break and market structure more for me too. that's where my weak point is. But
Yeah.
it was easier to see on here, I guess, probably because we were on the higher time frame, so it was easier to actually see what was happening.
If you're having
So that'll
trouble with
work.
that, 1 second. I was coughing. This is what I'm going to show you. I just started teaching one of my friends who knows nothing about trading, about market structure. He used to be a stockbroker back in the day, but he never really looked at charts and never really analyzed stuff like that. So I was explaining to him market structure. So this is a bullish market structure, right? This is your low, this is your high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And your breaks happen when we break the sequence, right? So when we're trending, we should continuously make higher lows and higher highs. When we break the previous higher low, right? When we go from a higher higher high to a lower low, and then this is your break. This swing right here is considered your break. You know, it's different. And then you're predicting that the market will make lower high. And that's like your retracement. Let's go back to white for that. And then you're looking to capture this swing here that goes from lower high to lower low. This is your untradeable swing because it just broke. You don't know what's going to happen after that, but you're predicting, you know, as long as from here to here, we created divergence, we broke this level, right? And we're fibbing it, you know, and this will be your 61A to 786 area to where we create that lower high, and then price makes a lower low. And that's your profit. So
That makes sense.
yeah, that's our that's basically the buy side. And then if you were to just flip that, that'll give you your where'd it go? Invert. So if you were to flip that, that will give you your sell side. Break and go into buy. Where's my
Damn, I forgot to take off my take profit for GCAD. GCAD hit profit. And then GJ was not a good trade. I think that's gonna hit stop loss.
no, is it reversing on us now?
Yeah. I just manually closed it just to break even on both.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm up 33 for this Asian session, so I'll just take it.
Lower high, lower low,
Like
lower
0.1%.
high, lower low, higher high.
What did I tell you about Asia? As soon as you put it in, it turns around. Always. I hate Asia.
Yeah, I'm never doing Asian pairs again. GCAD was just so perfect, bro. Like, look at that. GCAD is flying right now. It's fine.
So that's the opposite one if you want to screenshot that, and obviously it'll be in the recording.
Thank
But
you.
let's look at what they're talking about in GJ.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. It, you know, when I was teaching it to my friend who didn't have much, oh shit. Okay, great.
GJ's being a Sasquatch, bro. This is doing a DeLorean.
GJ
Yeah,
is
that's
probably gonna hit stop loss.
yeah,
That's
GJ,
fine.
that's a very, very bearish candle.
Mhm.
But one thing actually, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for closing because this right. Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm happy I closed it. Because it needs to bounce in this zone in order to go to the upside. It needs to bounce like right now and fly.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is literally
It's
the last
not.
hope.
It's not really diverging, so it's probably gonna stop us out.
I'm already out though. So good.
Yeah.
I mitigated my loss.
So
Yep, there you go.
there it is. That's stop loss.
It's all good, bro.
And it happens. I'm gonna be so tight if this wicks and turns around right now.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a very big potential with the area it's in. But yo, how about that GCAD, bro? Rob, where you at, bro? Let's go, Rob. I see you.
Yo, I'm back in here. Can you hear me?
I see you, Rob. You see that GCAD?
Yeah, I'm watching it now.
That
It's
GCAD, bro.
it's
Damn, I'm
literally
so
flying,
mad
bro.
I put my take profit. I forgot to change my take profit. I need to download MetaTrader 4 onto my computer. Oh my God, Arjun,
Yeah,
look
this
at
is gonna
GCAD.
keep running, dude. Like I told you, if it sets up, then it sets up.
I'm so mad I'm out.
Yeah, my bias is just a little backwards, but I'm gonna get it down, man.
Yeah, you'll be all right, man. Take some time. It's funny because pound, I think overall is gonna go up, and then obviously GJ just wants to do the opposite.
Thank you for the session, my boy. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Your time is always valuable. So I'll let you guys be. Thank you so much, Arjun.
No problem, dude.
See you guys. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, guys. Peace
Bye.
out.